Warzone 2 has over 50 weapons, which makes it ridiculously hard to find which ones are worth using. But even worse, the new gunsmith system is impossibly confusing for anyone with little time to learn it. Because of this, I've put together a list of the top 10 best guns and the tuning for those weapons to help you dominate in Al Mazrah. So let's hop into our first class, and with that, I'd like to note these are in no particular order, so just try them out and stick with the ones you find best match your playstyle. This Lachmann 5.56 build is incredibly accurate and works fantastic at medium to medium long ranges. It also has a really great bullet velocity, meaning you shouldn't have to lead your shots too much unless you're putting bullets on enemies outside of the mentioned ranges. If you think back to the original Warzone, this specific weapon with the attachments and tuning reminds me of the Grau, which, as a lot of you may remember, was my favorite assault rifle back in the day. What this means is that it can basically beam anyone you can see as long as you control the very minute recoil it has. For any beginners or even those having a hard time staying on target, this is my recommendation for you. The EBR is a truly incredible weapon, and for any Warzone veterans, it's absolutely comparable to the DMR. It's very high power, and with the build I'm sharing, has a large magazine with the capacity for 20 bullets. Not only does it hit like a truck, but it can hit similarly hard at long ranges. If you're accurate and able to go for those headshots, it's lethal with 1 to 2 bullets at almost any range. I would, however, say while this gun is very easy to use, unless you find yourself within 100 meters, instead of spamming the trigger, slowly tapping it will help you stay more accurate, as it does have a bit of a kick. I chose to recommend this rifle over any sniper in the game because every sniper is a 2-tap kill, even if you're hitting headshots. Due to that, I felt it was more important to be able to shoot quickly and have the chance to clean up multiple enemies with a single magazine. The STB 5.56 is your standard run and gun assault rifle. It's definitely been a go-to for multiplayer, and as it makes its way into the hands of players in Warzone, I can only imagine it will become a go-to weapon here as well. Like many of the weapons being spoken on in this video, it's great to pair with a set of overpowered Akimbo X12 pistols, which I'll definitely be covering in a future piece of content, so make sure you're subscribed as to not miss it. This gun has a deadly accuracy, high bullet velocity, and truly feels so astonishingly good to use. Because of that, I find myself grabbing it more and more over other weapons. The best part of this loadout is that it's using a mini dot sight, making it easy to see enemies, and with its pinpoint accuracy, it's pretty hard to miss. This is great for medium ranges, especially up to around 50 meters, and this is a gun I recommend for everyone to try. This 74U build comes from the Kastov family, similar to the weapon we'll be speaking about next, and for good reason. The whole family of weapons are very hard hitters, and with the right build like the one I'm showing you now, can be used in nearly any scenario. The beautiful thing about this weapon is while I recommend running it as an SMG, it actually uses AR ammo, meaning you don't have to worry about filling your inventory with different ammo types. The 74U has a pretty fast aim down sight time, it's very mobile, and as previously stated, hits like a truck. All around, a great weapon to run with an assault rifle, or even a perfect pair for something like a sniper or marksman rifle like the earlier mentioned EBR. As I said, we have another weapon from the Kastov family, this one in particular being the RPK, the LMG of the family. You all may already know, but LMGs are known for being incredibly powerful, and in a lot of cases, with the right attachments, having very little recoil. For the RPK, it's no different. While it may be a little heavier and therefore making the aim down sight time a little bit longer, it's highly accurate, has very high damage, and with a bullet velocity that'll have you barely needing to lead any shots, can be used to knock down teams with no problem. With all of that and a 75-round magazine, this weapon is being used by every professional Warzone player you can think of, and it's no brainer as to why. The Fennec is my go-to SMG. If I need to play close range, this is the weapon I want in my hands when I'm doing it. Due to its rate of fire, it's by far the fastest killing SMG. If you can get within a couple of meters of the enemy, they're basically guaranteed to drop. However, the trade-off is you're going to need to reload often and be very accurate. Luckily, it's easy to control and has fast reloads, but at most, you're only going to be able to eliminate 2 enemies with a single magazine, so be sure to use your bullets sparingly. With that being said, this is the SMG I recommend running as your secondary for any class with which you intend on getting up close and personal. It's easy to use and a guaranteed knock in any inside engagement. The Bryson 800 shotgun, in my opinion, will likely see a nerf before the second season of Warzone 2 makes its debut. Although, for now, it's my favorite secondary weapon. While the Fennec is my go-to SMG, I have a hard time choosing it over this shotgun when the opportunity presents itself. In most cases, you'll find the Bryson 800 shotgun to be a 2-shot kill, but even with 3 plates of armor, if you hit all the pellets, meaning you're within very close range, you can easily drop any enemy in 1 shot. Not sure if that was intended by the developers, but it's been a ton of fun for me to use. I would recommend aiming down the sights of the weapon to tighten the pellet spread a bit more when you can, but it's absolutely not necessary in most scenarios. Additionally, this build comes with decent mobility, making it good for running or even better for clearing out buildings. The RAAL MG is hands down the highest damage weapon in Warzone 2. Not only that, but it's ridiculously accurate for the damage it has, making it great for knocking people out of buildings and off head glitches, and one of the easiest mid-range weapons to use. If you're not already seeing a ton of these in your matches, just wait, because I'm sure they're going to start popping up more and more. With that said, if you're not using one as well, there's a high likelihood that you're going to be losing most of your gunfights against it. I would note it's a little bit slow when it comes to mobility, as well as aiming down sights. So if you find yourself needing to cover more ground or be a bit more snappy, be sure to switch out to a secondary in those scenarios. I promise, this is going to be the king of Warzone 2. So if you're looking to win games with ease, pick one up. I can't recommend it enough. The TAQ-V is an acquired taste in my personal opinion. This weapon is not going to be for everyone. However, if you decide to try it, I'm sure you'll notice when you do get an elimination, it feels incredibly rewarding. It's high damage, making it great for controller users, has medium velocity, and while it's a little bouncy, that bounce can sometimes help you hit headshots that'll knock an enemy faster than almost any other weapon. I will say, on the build I'm sharing here, there's no sight, but if you feel you should switch one of the attachments out for a sight, I say go for it. Before we make it to the final gun, I'd like to say, while you've been able to see all the tunings for these weapons on the screen, these tunings are what has specifically worked for me. If you feel another creator has better tuning, or you want to do the tuning yourself, don't hesitate to switch things up. Don't just trust everything a creator tells you either, because we're not perfect and there's always room for improvement. Always do what works for you. The M4 is my favorite weapon in Warzone 2. From my testing over the course of dozens of matches, it seems to be the easiest weapon to use and all around has great stats across the board. It's low recoil, has pretty decent damage, decent range, and every time I get an elimination, I have absolutely no complaints about anything the gun did or didn't do. Most importantly, it feels like home. Genuinely, this gun takes me back to how I felt when Warzone 1 was first released, and I can't get enough of it. While the build I'm currently using is a lot of the reason for that, the way the gold camo looks on this gun just makes a younger Expel come out. So while some don't like this weapon, I think it's going to be the best starter weapon for any player because it checks all the boxes and is likely going to be the first thing anyone gets leveled anyway. Before we conclude the video, while these are my top 10 weapons, I'd love to hear what guns you'd like for me to try next and maybe even add to a future video. So let me know with a comment. Additionally, what's your favorite gun build? Do you think the tuning for a weapon should be changed? After you're done commenting, if you found value in the video, check out the one on screen now for the ultimate beginner's guide to Call of Duty Warzone 2. And subscribe, dang it!